Good morning, VC, and greetings from Boise, Idaho. I'm here today for another 3 records. A lot of good stuff coming up. Um, and some not so good stuff. I started off with I've been just doing this prog thing lately, where I've been listening to nothing but. And this is actually one of the first records I bought someplace in Nampa, Idaho, and I just kind of blind bought it after hearing it's Genesis, Wind and Wuthering. I bought it after hearing that the Peter Gabriel stuff was pretty good, and I looked at the cover and it looked early enough, and I figured, well, maybe he's on this one. He wasn't. It's actually I think their 8th studio release, and it's the last one with the guitarist Steve Hackett, and it's definitely a prog record. I think my problem with this was I came too late to Genesis. If I had come earlier, before the 80s, and hearing Studio and all that, I think I may have enjoyed this record before. But it's something about Phil Collins' voice, which is a fine voice, and honestly, I have nothing bad to say about it. And he does a terrific job on this record. It's just the connection I make with sort of the 80s, and being a punk rocker, and Genesis was pretty much everything we stood against. Because there wasn't a lot of politics in Massachusetts, so we had to stand against Genesis. Really well-written songs, and some amazing instrumentations. Yeah, that's a word. And this is on Atco Records. I've sat and I've tried to listen to this whole record a couple of times, and this morning I just sat and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And about 3/4 of the way through, I was just like, eh. Not because it's a bad record, because it isn't, and I can totally understand why people would really dig it. It bored me. Maybe I'm getting out of a prog phase right now or something. I don't know. I don't know. Any thoughts you have on this one, please feel free. The second record I got for you today, completely metal. Thank God. Plague Dogs. I guess a limited edition to 500, 2011, press of 500, on the Sit and Spin records. This is great. First of all, the cover is great. Second of all, the back is pretty reminiscent of a new wave of British heavy metal sort of back covers. It's 2011. It's from Philadelphia. Comes with a neat little lyric sleeve. Think Motorhead mixed with Slough-Eggs guitars. It's gallopy. It's good, but it's mean and it's growly. And if you haven't had a chance to hear these guys, definitely give it a spin, because fantastic stuff. Maybe it was because I listened to it after I listened to the Genesis, but I was just like, yeah! Absolutely great. Really, really, really happy with this one. And the final record that I've been spinning is The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. Yes, once again, one more I got in South Carolina. Aaron almost kicked me in the pants for missing this one, and I'm glad he did, because it's so good. The whole first side of this record is just fantastic. I think it's 68 or 69. Another one of those records where you can tell the person making the record is absolutely batshit crazy, and it works. I mean, I know most of you guys know this, but if you don't, definitely give it a listen. It's you know, Arthur Brown still keeps up a website to this day, and that website, I forget what it is. It's probably www.arthurbrown.com or something. Absolutely batshit crazy, um, and it makes me happy when crazy people do good things. Um, because when that genius leaks through, it's amazing. I do believe it's the only actual record that they did. I think he might have done some later records and some such. I'm pretty sure he did. But as far as this iteration of the band, that's all that came out. But wow, what a record! Just for Fire alone, I'm not one to usually just point out, well, here's the hits, but it's just an amazing song. But that whole first side of the record, the second side of the record has a couple of covers, a James Brown one, I believe. I Put a Spell on You by Screamin' Jay Hawkins, which you can't go wrong with anyway. Fantastic stuff. So yeah, I think I'm getting out of my prog phase, which is maybe I'm just not as ponderous anymore, but I'm definitely heading back towards the metal track. So the Metal Theologian put on something this morning, and had the Lord Weird Slough-Egg playing in the background. I don't have any Lord Weird Slough-Egg on vinyl, or I would definitely show that, because absolutely one of my favorite bands. I think Traveler, which is based on the 1970s role-playing game, even lifting the artwork from the game book onto their cover, is probably the best metal record ever made. Now, I know those are big words, but it's amazing. Just amazing. If you haven't heard Traveler, then you're missing out. It's like a big Broadway show space opera concept record based on a 1970s space role-playing game. Did you hear that? Yeah. Right? Okay. So, anyway, that's all I have for this week. Had the day off, so I get to sit around and listen to records all day, which I'm pretty jazzed about. Aside from that, hope you have a great week, and thank you for watching, and all the people that subscribe. Thanks for doing that. And I'll see you next week with 3 more. All right, bye.